I found a co-host. Ah, I hope you will check out my Star Trek Next Generation videos, recaps on Fridays. I'm a series person. I like series. I like character progression from episode to episode, from book to book. Also, check out my If Then on Fridays. I've done Black authors, no one has watched. I did Native American detectives, Hillerman, no one has watched. Um, I did vampires, werewolves, fae, Bridgertons. We did a Regency. We'll do plenty more Regencies. And I just had it. What did I do with it? I literally just had it. Oh well. And also check out Flashback Monday, where we review all the books, a good chunk of the books in this magazine. They did over 200 a month. And we started with 2007. We are working our way to 2016. Then we'll do some specials after that. And my daily book reviews. And this was a fun break in between uh the J.R. Ward Black Dagger Brotherhood and James Patterson's Alex Cross series. And if you want to know her identity, please check out Flashback. 3030 on New Year's Eve. Are you finished yet? She's finished. Okay. So, we're going to get ready to read C.S. Harris. So, while in between, this book showed up. And we did all of Krista Davis last year. Please go check out all those videos. They start with thyme. We go through the cheesecake. Think of all the weight I gained while reading these books. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, KRISTA. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no special editing, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here, no theme music. I did some suspense the other day. You might not check out that If Then. I was dreaming about lowering the lights and getting a flashlight and doing all this stuff, but I have no talent. I have no creativity. This is just me reading books, talking books. That's all I can do. So we're going to talk Krista Davis, The Diva Goes Overboard. And technically, Sophie doesn't go overboard. Natasha goes over. Well, actually, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Natasha goes first, but then Sophie goes after that. And be prepared for some spoilers. I will not spoil the whodunit. I will not spoil the two major things at the end, but I will spoil all the rest of it. I love spoiling my books. I love sharing my books with you. I love reading books with you. I like and enjoy reading these books. I'm a book person. Do you know? Think about this. All right, now those of you, there's some people out there. There's a commercial, a jewelry store, very, 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 very high end jewelry store. And in the old, it would go, and he went to Jared, and I'd be like, he went to Barnes. But Barnes, I used to have a really huge, huge, massive Barnes and Noble. And they would always have stuff. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of books. They cut the store in half and they sold it to other businesses. And then they went into the display. It's all about the turned book. And you go in there now and they have all these big fancy book displays, but no books. They'll come over to you with their tablet. They all walk around with the tablet. Oh, can I order that for you? Well, if I wanted to order it, I could have stayed home and ordered it on the computer. And hell, try and order something from Barnes and Noble. I ordered something Christmas Day because my husband remembers that I used to like Barnes, but I haven't done Barnes in years now. I even let my membership expire. Because it just takes too long. It takes too long and their prices are too high. But I ordered something Christmas Day. I got it on my birthday in February. Not kidding. You order something from Amazon, you get it in a reasonable amount of time. and it's cheaper. So now I'm a give me an Amazon gift card situation. And by the way, if I ever figure out how to make it public, and I haven't figured out how to make it public, and what you call it? But if I could, and if I had fans, I don't have any fans, but if I had fans, there's over 200 books on that wish list over there on Amazon because I'm going through my magazines. I'm like, oh shoot, how did I miss this one? How did I miss this one? How did I miss this one with the author? So those peeps need company. But anyways, I wanted to share. I like to share. I like to share, and I have to share. I have a couple of comments here. Um, Dear Sophie, my 75-year-old father is getting married. The bride and groom have been married before to other people and have adult children and grandchildren. They're planning a huge wedding and the bride will wear white. I think this is in poor taste in that they should quietly tie the knot at the courthouse in a civil ceremony by themselves. What do you think? And Sophie answers, a wedding is one of life's most significant and lovely events. If the bride and groom want a big wedding with all the traditions that accompany nuptials, I think they should do it and celebrate it any way that makes them happy. There are no age limits on joy. And I'm saying, as long as you have the money to do it that way, be my guest. But don't go into hock and put your children and grandchildren in hock. But as long as you have the money, do whatever you want. That's my thoughts on that. So I just thought I'd share that. So there's a couple of there are several there's one big plot and then there are quite a few subplots in this. It's very, very, very good. It's very multi-layered. All the stories are connected, all the subplots are connected. It's really, really good. So, Natasha's mom is getting married. And she's marrying this very, very wealthy guy. And Natasha talked them into an engagement party. The couple didn't want one, but Natasha felt it was necessary. You know, Natasha. And I guess we should, if you haven't, I've introduced these characters quite a few times, so please go back and check. Start with the Diva Does Thyme and go through the cheesecake. But we have Sophie as our, I'll just do a little bit, but Sophie is our main character. Nina is her best friend. Natasha is her friend's enemy, friend. And Mars is her ex-husband. Wolf is the cop who she used to date briefly. Bernie is Mars's best friend. And Francie is Nina's Mars's mom, and I think that's how it goes. Don't quote me, but if you don't, you should really read the series from the beginning to follow the series progression. But if you, I like that they include some characters in the beginning, but it's an easy series to follow the relationships, but I just there's a couple of things that I will point out when I get to them. But so they go to this party and the rich guy Orson dies at the party. It turns out he was poisoned. And they read the will. And there are some surprises. Sophie's invited to the reading of the will and she doesn't understand. She barely knew the guy. He owned a store in town. Yes, he was marrying Natasha's mom, Wanda, and they, she might have gotten to know him over the years once they got married or whatever. He would become part of the family situation. But prior to this, she really had very little limited contact to him. So they go to the conference room and they watch this video. This guy made a video of his will. Thank you for coming today. My heartfelt condolences to all of you. I oh, wait, let me get that. That's the lawyer. All right. Um, Orson was the guy that died. Orson smiled at us from the screen. He sat in a leather chair and was casually dressed in a turtleneck sweater that appeared to be cashmere, leading me to believe that he taped this in cold weather at least several months ago. Thank you, Ronan. Well, folks, it looks like I bit the dust. I could have left you a stiff, impersonal piece of paper with instructions that seemed cold to me. Ronan insisted on it, and he'll do his job when I'm finished here. I want you to understand that I gave this a lot of thought, lost some sleep over it actually. I want to be fair, but life has taught me that sometimes it's better to be smart than it is to be generous. I can see you squirming now, Jordan, so I'll begin with you. I wanted you to be here so there would be no mistake. You have put my daughter through hellfire with your ridiculous demands on her, not to mention the fuss over the custody of your children. I thank you for my wonderful grandchildren, but son, if you don't knock it off that terrible behavior, I swear I will come back to haunt you. um, and then he leaves stuff to individual family members, and then he leaves his store to Sophie, and everybody's like, what? Why? Where? Who were you? Were you having an affair with him? Were you sleeping with him? Did he know you? And Sophie's like, I don't know. So she inherits this huge, very, very uh expensive, very profitable antique store. So she goes into the store and noses around and finds a secret room, and she finds a letter, and the letter tells her why she was left the store. Dear Sophie, if you are reading this, then the worst has come to pass. I have feared this eventuality for some time. No one knows about this letter to you or about the contents. You may share them with your sleuthing friends if they are sworn to secrecy and if you can trust them to keep mum. I have been murdered. We knew that. Least you think I am old man who is confused or teetering on the edge of dementia. Please allow me to assure you that is not the case. I have a clean bill of health from my doctor. My ticker isn't young anymore, but there isn't any medical reason for me to die. The suspects are plenty. Someone has been following me in recent months. I spoke about it with Sergeant Wolf Fleischman, Sophie's ex-boyfriend and the cop in charge of the case. Feel free to check up with him so you will know I am not making this up. He recommended hiring a bodyguard or private investigator. I have done neither, depending instead on my own wits to carry me through as I've done my whole life. Um, and he goes on to explain about his wife and his family, and um, he wants Sophie to solve the case. I apologize for hiding this letter in my secret room. I trust your natural curiosity will draw you to it. I'm sure you can see, given all this information, why it couldn't be left anywhere else. Any of the above named person would have burned it unless my death was very clearly murder. You might never have gotten involved. My will and associate trust might have raised suspicion, but this is much more clear. You may imagine me dancing a little jig as I watch the squirming ensue. And he wants Sophie to solve his murder, which she does, but there's lots of little subplots in between. There's lots of other reasons and people involved. Everybody has a motive. And I'm a I consider my simple person. I consider we eat very plain, very simple foods in this house. I'm a very simple cook. And this just cracked me up six ways to Sunday because this would not happen in my house. Um where is it? I just had to throw this out there. Let's see. I walked to my favorite grocery store make for the makings of an easy dinner. Um It was fun strolling through the aisles and picking out delicious finger foods like black and green olives, adorable little 40 cornichons, a cucumber, endive, a package of sliced dry salami, roasted red peppers, blackberries, dates, strawberries, grapes, salted peanuts, rotisserie chicken, a couple of baguettes, smoked Gouda, mozzarella balls, and brie. I toted my purchases home and set to work arranging a fun dinner. And she plans a dinner at the store, and I'm like, why take all this stuff to the store? Why not just do it in your house? Why? And this whole book is about boards, serving boards, and I just put it on a plate, put it on a platter. So she considers this a simple dinner. Um, I loaded my serving board with all the fun foods for dinner. I removed the chicken breasts and sliced them into rounds that could be eaten plain or used on a sandwich. Then went on the board first, then wings and legs, then wrapped the remaining bits in aluminum foil and stashed them in the refrigerator to make a chicken broth. The cheeses and salami were next. The mozzarella balls went next to the roast peppers for color contrast so they wouldn't move out of place. I rolled the slices Gouda and laid them out like a fan, then salami slices a touch in a circle that ended in a Gouda fan. I added 2 bowls, one red and orange for the onion comfort and pesto. She does all this stuff, and to me, this is very, very fancy schmancy. Me, buy some cold cuts, make some sandwiches, macaroni salad, potato salad, some chips, and you're done. We are simple, and she just goes to the. There's another one in a couple other books that I was talking about. She just goes to the refrigerator and pulls out all this roast loin of pork and potatoes, and she gets everything done in 15 minutes or whatever. Oh, and there was this other thing um that I wanted to bring up. And I would get the product, but I don't want to be accused of. You know what? Wait a second. So, this Sophie gives the good advice and Natasha gives the outlandish advice. They both have columns. They both have advice columns. And this is one to Natasha. My daughter-in-law makes pancakes for my son from a mix. How do I let her know that it's not acceptable? Dear appalled mom, put together a gift packet with everything she needs to make pancakes, then show her how to make them. While you're there, surreptitiously throw out her mix. Now she won't have an excuse not to cook fresh pancakes. Well, I'm sorry. This works for me. I keep it in a bag when it's opened. But this works just fine for me. It's easy, simple, done. I'm not a from a scratch type of person. Scratch. I've lost my words. So I think that was pretty much it. Um, but uh, there is quite a few plot twists in here, and you didn't see it coming. There are some things that just come. She just, and I'm like, wow. I did not see that coming. That is an excellent plot twist. That is awesome. There is a couple of plot twists in here that just like are so cool. But Sophie and her friends, especially with Nina, and we have never. This is book 17 in the series, and like I said, I've done all the other um things, all the other books, so please go check out those. Watch them in order. I did them in order. Uh, we have very, 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 very rarely seen Nina's husband. Rare. Very, very rare. The guy is even in he's always going off someplace. But it's Natasha and Sophie and Nina and Mars. Oh, and Natasha's got a secret. Natasha's got a little bit of a secret. She's been hoarding stuff. So that's a little interesting. And her new show, Natasha Style, and that's when the overboarding happens. But it's a really good book. It's an enjoyable read. It's a quick read, and you just get drawn into it, and you're like, you don't put it down, because Natasha and all her, I mean Sophie and all her angst, and she's got all coordinated outfits. I do not have coordinated outfits. I've got a pair of jeans and then a bunch of tops. There you go. That I'm simple. I'm not complicated. I have a jacket for my meetings, and I've lost quite a bit of weight over the years, and so I have some really nice fancy schmancy stuff, but it's 6 or 7 or 8 sizes too big. So I'm slowly buying new stuff, very, very slowly, microscopically. My next new item might come at Christmas. We'll see how that goes. I did a video once on it's easier for me to spend 20 bucks on a book than it is to spend 20 bucks on clothing. I don't know why. It's just me. So, who killed Arson? There's a couple of other uh murders in this book. There's a couple of beatings, there's a couple of poisons, there's a couple of attempted murders, there's a secret identity. It's just really good. So you really have to check it out. But why did I that's the other secret I'm not going to reveal. I have this thing that says read this, but then I remember that it's involving one of the secret identities. So I'll leave it to you. Um why Orson got killed, and what's his real identity, who is he really, and what do his business partner and these ladies have to do with it, and his ex-wife have to do with it, and what happens to the dog, and it's really good. Krista Davis does a really good job of keeping you entertained and keeping the twists and turns coming at you and throwing you different plot twists. It really works. So have a good day. Thank you.